Hello everybody, my name is BALAN'S and I am your local economist here in China. I'm very excited today because today was the first video of Ask Me China. So I want to take things a little bit slow, a little bit gradual, and speak to you about something fundamental, and that is about doing business in China. It's nothing new and it's nothing phenomenal. You can just Google it up and you can see a long list of many people, many insights talking about ways of doing business in China. But I'm a little bit different. I'm smack in China, and through my observation I came to realize that there are different perspectives that you need to know if you want to do business in China. So it's a little bit different from what you have been reading or what people have been telling you about. Give you an example. You have to be in China to understand what China is. It's not the same as you reading about China, you viewing or seeing TV or seeing videos about China. It's very different until you are here. That's an example. So let me just go through with you some of my observation about doing business in China, and you tell me whether you can agree, or otherwise just leave comments down and I'll respond back to you. So let's have it in, let's do this in a two-way process of sharing with each other. Right? Here's the first thing that I've observed. If you want to do business in China, make sure you have a management or a team retreat. I say this with a lot of emphasis because number one, you do not know which part of China that you're going to be, or which part of China that you actually want to do business in. And if you're not too sure the dynamics of how this country is, then it's going to be nearly impossible of you succeeding doing business here. Now, if you are working on a project, or if your company is coming to China to do business, a management retreat or a team retreat is a must. Now, we are not too concerned about how you do business or where you do business, but you must know the various dynamics and the various elements of what China is when it comes to doing business. So in the team retreat or in the management retreat, you should, number one, go and see the blitz, the glitz, the lux and the glam of first tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Chongqing, Shenzhen and whatnot. Number two, go and visit second tier cities like Nanning, Wuhan, Dalian and stuff like that. Number three, visit tier 3 cities like Yinchuan, for example. Number four, visit fourth tier cities which are a little bit rural in that manner. And number five, you must visit the countrysides. Now, why is this very important? Because each one of these tiered cities are operated differently, are governed differently, are running business which are very different. So if you want to know where you're going to be, how you're going to do business, and what type of business that you're going to be involved in, you need to know China from a larger spectrum. So you've got a first tier right up to the rural countryside. This will give you a huge perspective of what to expect when doing business in China. That's number one on my observation. Number two on my observation is China is huge. No, wrong. It's crazy huge, right? And that being said, the competition in China is brutal. Whatever that you want to bring to China, whatever business that you are in and you want to come to China and do it, your competition is stiff. It's rock solid, it's hard. Whatever that you want to bring into China, there's already 600 available here. And you must know the emphasis of doing business in China revolves around who you know and who are you competing with. So I urge you, before coming to China, make sure you do your homework in terms of competitive analysis. You must know who you're dealing with, what businesses are on the ground running, What are you going to compete against? Who's with you? Who's against you? One of the easiest tools, and one of my favorites actually, is to pick up one of those strategic management textbooks that you use in university or college, the one by Fred David or Michael Porter, whoever that you like. Pick that up, run through that exercise that's been stated in that textbook, understand the proponent that you're going to deal with in China, and then you have a clearer picture of where to move, how to move, and what to actually move into while you are here. Otherwise, I swear to you, you'll be heading for trouble. Competition here is brutal. Many of the companies here are well backed by the Chinese government. It's heavily subsidized, so they have the money to actually kill you if you're not too sure what you're actually doing right here. Now, you must know this. China has the finance, China has the resource, China has the material, and most powerfully, China has the people to actually do things and run business and grow business very quickly. So if you're not too sure what you're dealing with, if you're not too sure what you're entering into, that's danger. That's my observation number 2. Third observation that I have is, if you grow too fast, that's trouble. If you grow too slow, that's also trouble. So have a steady pace of growth. A lot of mistakes that companies do, new companies which is outside of China or foreign companies coming into China, is that they want to hit the ground running. And that does not work in China. No. It's a different game that you have to play. You cannot hit the ground running too quick. Now, if you have an attitude that you want to hit the ground running in 6 months to 9 months, that's not going to happen at all. You need to understand what is growth. You need to understand what's the market like. You need to understand the sentiment of the people, and you need to understand where you are doing business in the first place. That's why I say earlier on in in my observation number 1, you need to know which part of China that you're going to be in. So you need to visit from tier 1 from the countryside. So steady pace is good. Steady pace is very, very healthy. So please do not be too greedy. Market is big, audience is gigantic, it's enormous here, but steady pace is actually needed. Observation number 4 that I have is this. Chinese people work collectively. This is a collective society. What it means is that they work best in groups, they work best in clans. Anything inside the group or inside the clan, it's all about cooperation. Anything outside of the clan, it's zero-sum game here. So if you're going to be part of this clan, better still, if you can create your own clan, that's fantastic. But if you don't even know, if you don't even do your homework of what clan that you're going to belong to, which group that's going to help you grow, then chances of you succeeding in China is very, very, very slim. So you need to know specifically who you're dealing with, what are you dealing with, the type of people that you're going to be meeting and dealing with, and whether or not you are able to be part of their group, be part of their clan. Within the clan, growing, developing, very easy. Outside of the clan, you're on your own. No one's going to assist you if you're outside the clan. So you need to know what are you dealing with. It's a very collective society. It's a society that works based on hierarchy. It's a society that works based on mutual understanding. Think about it this way. Think about it how successful or how brutal the New York mafias was back in the 60s and the 70s. So that's how Chinese society actually works. They're very tight-knit, and for you to enter, you need to know what you're dealing with and so on. So that's observation number 4. My 5th observation is that there is no trust until proven otherwise. You will never be able to get the trust, or you will never be able to win the trust of the Chinese until you have proven otherwise. So it's guilty until proven innocent. It's untrustworthy until proven trustworthy. That's how Chinese work here. It's not like the West where you like the deal, you agree to the contract, you shake hands, you move forward, easy. In China, it's a little bit different. You need to gain that trust, you need to gain that respect, and then you need to know what needs to be done properly. So I highly suggest you, if you're going to come to China and do business, you need to have a vault solid BATNA and a vault solid ZOPA. So if you know what I'm talking about, then good. Otherwise, I'll share with you a little bit later in the other videos as well what BATNA and ZOPA looks like in China. It's not the same of how it is outside of China or doing business in the West or even in Southeast Asia or wherever you may come from. So knowing what you're bringing to the table, knowing whether your offer is rock solid, plays a huge role in the success of you doing business here. So make sure that you know exactly how to gain the trust of your business partner or your counterpart that you are actually dealing here. Number 6 observation that I had here is simple: relationship. Chinese people build relationship. They don't work on a fluke. They don't work on a one-shot relationship. They don't like such business. They want it long-term. And once you got hooked to this long-term relationship, you are in it to actually win it. So you need to know how to build that relationship. Now, there will be a lot of dining, there will be a lot of eating, there will be a lot of socializing, there will be a lot of drinking, there will be a lot of community work that you've got to do to win that trust and also to build that rapport and the reputation and the relationship with your Chinese counterparts. So if you're going to go socializing, then make sure that you know how to handle your drink. In China, if you want to do business in China with Chinese counterparts, you have to drink intelligently. I do not know whether you heard this term before. I don't know whether this how it came to me, but you have to drink intelligently. Don't drink until you're passing out drunk. Don't vomit in front of them. Don't do stupid things in front of Chinese counterparts, because it's all being observed. It's all being looked at. They're trying to study you. They want to know who you are. So make sure if you're coming into China doing business, have 2 teams. Team number 1, party, drinking, happy, woo, nice party, a nice time kind of team. Second team is the business rock solid grounded team that will be talking the terms of the business that you're in. So make sure you have this clear. Otherwise, you don't want to be drunk the night before and then where the next morning you are at the negotiation table not even knowing what happened last night, and then you try to jot down and ink the contract. That will just make you look like a bloody fool. So you don't want that to happen. Make sure you have 2 separate teams and have a proper built relationship when doing things or doing business in China. That's number 6. Number 7, which I just overlapped on, is basically having 2 separate teams. Team to do business, team to actually party in China. Don't mix these 2 teams together. There should be 1 common person or 2 common person within this team, but that's it. Have that limit. Women are not expected to be drunk in Chinese society. So if you are spearheading the company as a woman, make sure that you cleverly pick your drinking associates or party associates versus those serious people who can actually sit down and draft out the contract and do negotiation rock solid in the business that you want to do. So that's my 7th observation that I've seen so far. The 8th observation is to make sure you understand Chinese hierarchy. Chinese hierarchy talks about bottom up and top bottom as well. What I mean by Chinese hierarchy is that if you are the senior vice president of your company and you're coming to do recce or recon in China, and you're meeting with the CEO or the chairman of the board of that company that you're going to deal with, that's not going to happen. Alright? In China, it's eye to eye. If you are the company CEO, you will meet the company CEO. If you are a junior marketing executive, you will meet the junior marketing executive. If you're the senior, you meet the senior. If you are the senior vice president, hoping and coming to meet with the CEO or the chairman of the board, yes, that meeting will still happen. But what will transpire is that you will only be taking down meeting notes. You will not be able to share your part or bring forth your company's ideas and views and proposition that you want to do. That's not going to happen at all. Never, 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 that's not going to happen at all. If you want to meet the CEO, make sure that you yourself are the CEO or the chairman of the board. Otherwise, that's not going to work at all. Do not bring someone who is under to meet someone who is on top. It has to be same level from there. Now, number 9. Number 9 is a little bit peculiar. Remember when I say in part 1 and in tip number 1 or in observation number 1 that you have to go and see all these various places of how things are done in the tier 1, tier 2, 3, 4 and also the countryside, is because Chinese government is decentralized yet centralized. It's decentralized because each of this province is governed in their own little way. It's centralized in a way because when Beijing says, hey, impose this now, it gets spread quicker than wildfire. So you need to know, number 1, in observation number 9, when it comes to government centralizing and decentralizing in China, you need to know, number 1, which province you're going to be in. Number 2, who are the authorities of that province. Number 3, who sits on the council. Number 4, who is the party secretary. You must have all this information and you must know how powerful they are linked back to Beijing. This is very, very clear. Although each province has its own authority to actually impose sanctions, impose rules and regulation, but the final say still comes from Beijing. So if you're not clear of who sits in this government position, then it's very hard for you to get information about what's happening or what's the communication that's taking place between Beijing and also the place that you are in. So make sure that you know how the government or the governing system works in the province or in the city that you're in, and also where your business is located. It's very different from it's very, very different from knowing the governing body of the province, the governing body of the city, which is the council itself, and it's very different of how information and hierarchy is actually tiered back to Beijing. So you must know this. Tip number 10. This is very, very important for me as an observer in China about business and landscape and business landscape and economics in China, is that it's not an equal playing field. I repeat, it is not an equal playing field. Why I say this is because companies in China are well backed by government subsidies, government money, and also the government itself. You're nobody. You coming to China, you want to start business, you want to hit the ground hard, it's going to kill you, like what I said earlier on. So whatever that you intend to do, you got to be very, really careful, because you can just be eaten away very quickly, or you can just be killed and pushed out very quickly. The emphasis here is on Chinese people. The emphasis here is on Chinese growth, Chinese development, Chinese people economy boom. It's never about you. Until and unless you can prove otherwise, that you are important to them and you are bringing good products, good services, new good technology that they can actually use, then you're important. Otherwise, if they already have 300 of what you are going to offer, then you are just a total waste of time and a joke. So they will never take you seriously from there. So it's never an equal playing field in China. You need to know what you're dealing with. So that's why I've been saying in this video for a few times that you must know what are you dealing with, who are you dealing with, what products are you going to bring in, what services are you actually bringing in for you to actually survive, grow and develop prosperly in China. China is huge. It's crazy huge. It's easy to make money here. It's also difficult to hit money here. Do your homework. I urge you to do your homework before coming here. Spend at least one solid year just getting yourself used to the 5 different tiers of the city. Tier 1, Tier 2, 3, 4 and also the countryside. Understand the ground, understand the people, understand what are you going to deal with, and then strategize your game plan from here. So I hope this has helped you. This is just my observation being in China, doing business in China. I'm actually surrounded by this beautiful Chinese pagoda right behind me and the gardens by the side. This is a wonderful place to be in. I urge you, I really sincerely say that you come to China and find money because it is abundant here. So leave comments, ask questions that you wish me to answer, and I shall see you in the next video of Ask Me China. Alright, till then, bye.